Today I'm going to tell you if you should buy a C5 Corvette or a 996 generation Porsche 911. Both the C5 Corvette and the 996 generation Porsche 911 are often cross-shopped, but which is the better performance car value in today's market? For the 1999 model year, the C5 Corvette offered 345 horsepower from a 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V8. For the 1999 model year, the 996 generation of the Porsche 911 offered 296 horsepower from a 3.4 liter flat 6 engine. The C5 has more power and low-end torque, but the flat 6 in the 911 offers a lower center of gravity, and thanks to the engine placement, a lot more traction coming off the line. The Corvette offers a ton of horsepower in a more affordable package. From a pure power perspective, the Corvette is the Hulk, but we'll see if Iron Man is able to counter. Porsche is well known for very good build quality, and Corvette, well, isn't. This is especially noticeable when you look at the interior of a 911 versus a Corvette. Sure, the 996 generation of the Porsche 911 isn't known to have the highest quality interior of any 911, especially with all the exposed plastic. But it's still a good amount better than the C5 interior with all of its GM parts bin source switches and controls. The 996 may not be the most luxurious 911 ever. Hey, it's more about driving. But when compared to the Corvette, it feels much more at home at the country club. When Car and Driver tested an early C5 Corvette, they managed a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds, and it can hit a top speed of 175 miles per hour. When Car and Driver tested the early 996, they managed a 0 to 60 time of 4.9 seconds, and it can hit a top speed of 174 miles per hour. Of course, a good sports car isn't just about drag racing, and the world does have corners in it. Both cars handle very well, but the 911 does it just a bit better. Even with the Corvette having a more neutral weight distribution with the front engine and rear transaxle, the 911 is just more refined in the corners. Some of the 911's handling benefits are due to the suspension setup and the C5's use of a transverse leaf spring. While not bad, it isn't quite as good in all situations. Still, the Corvette has enough extra power to make up for this, but you have to respect it, as a number of Corvette owners have lost control, giving it a little too much gas in the corner. You need to show both of these cars respect, just like the respect I'm sure you showed your parents growing up. The Porsche is, well, a Porsche, and there is no substitute. While the Corvette name does have a lot of cachet, at least in the United States, being a Chevy does bring down some of its specialness. Plus, the 911 having a flat 6 in the rear is more unique than a front-mounted V8. The C5 does get some coolness points for being the last Corvette with pop-up headlights. I mean, that's just cool. But the Porsche name just carries more weight with it. And since to most non-car people, every 911 looks like every other 911, plenty of people will think you have a newer, more expensive 911. Yeah, we'll just keep that part between us. 996 prices are on the rise. For a good example, 996 coupe with under 100,000 miles on it, expect to pay about $23,000. Just a year ago, a similar car would have gone for about $16,000. 996 C4Ss are getting between $45,000 and $50,000. And 996 turbos that used to be a $30,000 car are now routinely over $50,000. This uptick in the market is partly due to the overall used car market being a little insane right now, but demand for used 996 examples is also on the rise. The C5 Corvette has not quite seen the same rise in prices as the 996. While prices are up a bit because of the overall market being up, C5 prices have stayed largely flat. A good example, C5 Corvette Coupe will cost you about $16,000. And if you go for the higher performance 06 variants, you're looking at about $20,000. While I believe that values of the 996 will continue to raise over time, right now the C5 is the better bargain when you consider the performance for the money. But hey, isn't that kind of Corvette's thing? The C5 Corvette is a performance car bargain. Plus, if you're in the United States, you have the advantage of being able to buy pretty much all the parts from your local auto parts store. it just makes more sense to buy a C5 Corvette. However, the 996 has something very special about it that's kind of hard to put into words. Beyond the raw numbers is the driving experience and how it makes you feel, as well as the uniqueness of the 911 engine layout. For me, when I bought this car, I could have bought a C5 Corvette and I even shopped for one, but I didn't. Special thanks to Sergio for letting me film his C5 Corvette. It's quite a ride. If you'd like to see how the Porsche 996 compares to a Honda S2000, check out this video.